Your daughter walks into the room and she sits down beside you and she says, Mom, I think I'm too old to start over. I think it's too late for me. I think I've missed my chance. If your daughter spoke about herself the way you speak about yourself, what would you say to her? You would not hesitate. You would look her in the eyes and you would tell her the truth. You would say, that's not true. You have so much ahead of you. You're not behind. Life brought you here. So do not give up. You would fight for her. You would not let her believe that lie for even one single second. But here's what I want to ask you. When was the last time you said that to yourself? Because right now, today, you are carrying the exact same thought she spoke out loud. What if you became that woman for yourself? What if the same love, the same fierce belief, the same refusal to let her give up? What if you turned all of that inward? Not one day, not when the kids are settled, not when life gets easier, but now. Because the woman you are capable of becoming is not behind you. She is waiting for you. Here's what I see with so many women over 40. They are the most generous, the most encouraging, the most fiercely loyal women in the room for everyone else. They will pour out into their daughters, their friends, their colleagues without a second thought. But the moment it comes to themselves, suddenly the rules change. Suddenly they're not worthy of the same belief. And suddenly age becomes a wall instead of a door. Honestly, that's not wisdom. That's conditioning. You were taught somewhere along the way that your needs comes last. That your dreams were something you had in your 20s. That now your role is to support everyone else's becoming. But that was never the truth. That was the story you were handed over. And you've been carrying it so long, it started to feel like your own. The standards you hold for everyone else in your life, when did you decide they didn't apply to you? What I want for you by the time you finish watching this is not a plan, not a five-step strategy. I want you to feel something shift. I want you to look at your own life the way you look at hers, with the same clarity you bring when someone you love is about to give up on herself. Because when you start to believe that for yourself, really believe it, everything changes. The way you speak, the way you decide, the way you walk into the room, you stop waiting for permission. I know this because I have lived on the wrong side of it for a very long time. I was a woman who had the answers for everyone around her. I could see clearly what others needed to do, what they were worth, what they were capable of. But when it came to my own life, I kept waiting. Waiting until I felt ready, waiting until I felt right, waiting until someone told me it was okay to begin. But no one came. And one day I realized I would never pour into myself the way I poured into others if I kept waiting for someone else to go first. I had to become for myself what I had always been for everyone else. That was the day I stopped waiting to feel ready and started acting like I already was. So let's talk about what it actually looks like to give yourself that same grace. There is a conversation I want you to have with yourself. I want you to sit down and really sit and ask yourself, what would I say to my daughter? What would I say to my daughter if she came to me today discouraged, doubting, convinced she had run out of time? And write it down if you need to. Every word that you would say to her, every truth you would refuse to let her walk away without hearing. And then read it back to yourself. But this time, put your name at the top. Because here is what I know about women over 40. You're not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience, from wisdom that took decades to build you and build your life. From clarity that only comes when you have lived through enough to know what actually matters. The woman in her 20s is still figuring out who she is, but you already know. It's there in you, but it's just hidden. You've just been too busy taking care of everyone else to act on it. That's not a disadvantage. That's one of the most powerful positions you can be in. You know what you value. You know what you no longer accept. You know exactly the kind of woman you want to be. The only thing missing is the decision to treat yourself with the same belief, the same generosity, the same refusal to give up. And that you have given freely to everyone else in your life. Not because you've earned it, but because you were always worthy of it. God does not put a finishing date on purpose. He does not look at a woman of 45 or 52 or 61 and say, she has had her chance. That's not how it works. You are still here, and that means there is still more. If something in this landed for you today, if there was a moment where you thought she was talking about me, I want you to tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you would say to your daughter? Write it down there and then ask yourself, when was the last time you said it to yourself? If you're ready to stop waiting and start designing a life that is actually yours, come and have a conversation with me. Just an honest talk about where you are and where you want to be. And I'll see you soon.